Good morning. Welcome to the Premium Public Video Forecast discussion. It's Friday, February 20th, 2025. We have a lot to cover here today. First of all, I know that you probably have heard about the major news in terms of a lot of layoffs at NOAA, National Weather Service. First of all, I feel horrible for a lot of the young meteorologists out there who maybe have had their dream job taken away from them. I get it. I understand that pain. I've been there. Um, my advice to you is first, you're going to be under a lot of stress, a lot of unknown. Right now, what you need to do is step away, take a deep breath for your own for your own mind. Okay, I've been there. Very bluntly, I've had depression in this type of scenario. So for your own health care, make sure that you have someone to talk to. That there are a lot of resources out there in that respect. Reach out to the American Meteorological Society because there's a lot of help out there for you. And the private market, okay, the private sector, there's a lot of opportunities out there as well, growing opportunities, especially with a lot of the changes going on. There are going to be holes that are going to have to be filled, and the private sector is going to probably step up to do that. But there is no positive in what we're dealing with right now. And I wrote a long discussion about this on X. As you know, I'm always a very upfront, non BS person. And when it comes to government debt and stuff, I don't like to get political at all, but math is math, and we got a problem. So, definitely check that out if you want to hear my thoughts about what's happening. My hope is that things stabilize, that they realize that, hey, we need to make sure that we have balloons that are collecting data, radar that's working properly, not because it's a flashy government agency, but there's a lot of people that depend on this. Not only do the private sector, your myself, a lot of major weather companies, your phone app, okay, um, but also model data, and just the ability to put out warnings for watches and warnings. So this is a tough time. I'm not surprised this has happened. I am honestly, I'm surprised that it took this long to happen, because the writing's been on the wall for the past 20 years. So it is what it is, unfortunately. But hopefully things start to stabilize and we can move forward. But right now, today is not the day to start thinking about, oh, what do I do now? Today is the day to to just make sure that you're okay mentally, and that um, it's okay to be stressed and scared. It's totally understandable. Uh, on a brighter note, we will be starting meteorological spring tomorrow as March 1st. Now, the difference between astronomical spring and meteorological spring is that for meteorologists, we do this by the start of the month. So spring is March, April, May, and then summer is June, July, August. So astronomical spring, or the equinox, is around March 21st, and then first day of summer, when we're at peak sunlight, the longest day is June 21st, and so on and so forth with fall and winter. So that's why there's a difference in the days. One is based on the position of the sun and the moon and the earth, and our meteorology is more just based on statistical analysis to break up the months. Because March is usually considered a hybrid change month. So let's look at the spring and see what we are dealing with here, because there's a lot of talk about the polar vortex. You might have heard some people running around saying, hey, the polar vortex is going to split, and that means it's going to be very cold weather. Okay, so let's discuss this, because this is really important. First of all, time of year matters. Okay, we're talking about this occurring by the middle of March, and as a result, your lag time is more towards the end of March and early April. But also notice, details matter, that this split rapidly shifts. So you get this split into North America, and then it shifts towards the Atlantic. And where is it moving? It's moving towards Europe. This sign to me by April is more for something like a backdoor cold front type of weather pattern. Where we got a lot of maritime air mass clashes that we're going to have to watch out for. So this does not scream to me, watch out for winter storms in April, like some individuals are trying to run around and say. I don't buy it, and there's a reason why. So let me show you. So first of all, this is positioning and shifting quickly. Your tropical forcing is such that, through much of the first half of March, you stay in this phase 8-1. And in the longer range guidance, you actually basically stay in this range here. So what this tells me here is that as we move through spring, we're getting more and more of a El Nino-like signal here. Not El Nino itself, but just more of a shift towards a warm, neutral state. And I've been advertising this for quite some time. I've been an advocate of, not naming this a true La Nina, but it's kind of like this hybrid on-off influenced by the MJO type of scenario here in the tropical Pacific. And so we've had some weak La Nina signals, weak El Nino signals, but we're leaning more towards warm, neutral, weak El Nino signals as we move through spring. And that means a more active subtropical jet stream with a lot of shortwaves on the way moving through the plains, the Tennessee River Valley, more severe weather in those locations, and then eventually the Ohio River Valley and the Mid-Atlantic. So this might be a really good sign in terms of our drought conditions. If we can overwhelm our low-level boundary layer, dry layer, because it's a real issue right now. We need steady rainfall before we could really talk about convective influence like thunderstorms. Okay, we need to overcome that, and right now I don't see anything on the horizon over the next 7 days. But we need something like a 1.5 to 2 inch type rainfall. Okay, 1 inch isn't going to cut it. It's just basically steady state. We need 1.5 inches, 2 inches to start to cut into the deficit to reduce the issue. So when we look at our teleconnections here, this is the 46-day European that just got updated last night. So in terms of the Arctic oscillation, we gradually trend towards neutral, very weak negative by the time we get to mid-April. Again, the sun angle now is very high at this point. The EPO also trending towards a neutral state, going from positive to a neutral state. So again, this is not a cold signal per se, but it could be a raw signal. And then our North Atlantic oscillation is also trending from positive to a negative state, weak negative state. But there's devil in the details here. And then our PNA is negative all the way throughout until it gets neutral. This is important when you combine it with the NAO signal, okay? Because what you're saying is that you have a trough in the west, you have a ridge in the east, but you also have blocking around the Canadian Maritimes by the time we get to April. This is a clear signal of a potential backdoor cold front, stalling warm fronts, stuff like that. Not anything else that some individuals might be saying. This is not a winter storm signal or anything, or a spring winter storm or spring snow event, unless you're, in the Green and White Mountains in New England. So in terms of our 500 millibar pattern, right now, as we move through March, we get a really impressive cold shot this weekend, which we're going to discuss in just a minute. But everything, again, is transient. So these cold shots come in, they rapidly modify. Same as we move through the rest of March. Again, you'll get these cold shots, but they'll exit quicker and quicker, and you'll get more and more Pacific air surging in. So this Pacific mild air just continues to push through as we move towards the middle of the month and moving beyond that. Now, in terms of the signal that's showing up with the polar vortex split, what you really end up with is a nice little negative NAO signal. But when you have this position with this signal here of more of a zonal weather pattern here, this is a sign for backdoor cold fronts. This is a sign for very progressive cold fronts and low pressure systems. But don't be surprised if you get a couple of days here as we move through April where New York City is stuck at 45 and Philadelphia is at 70. Okay, it's going to be one of those type of mid springs where we're going to have that backdoor cold front creating a lot of havoc by the middle of April. And that's when we're going to feel this influence of this split polar vortex. So by that time, we're no longer talking about freezing temperatures. We're just talking about raw temperatures. So I get what you're saying in terms of, hey, this might not be a very warm spring. I think depends on where you're at. If you're on Eastern Long Island, Connecticut, New England, yeah, it might end up being a bit raw, especially if we get this sustained here. I still think this is a limited influence that pops in and exits just as quickly. So I don't think that the backdoor cold front threat is going to be every week, but I think that there's clearly a signal here that we're going to be dealing with that at some point as we move through April. I don't think this is going to be an issue in March. I think this is going to be a April issue, so I want to keep an eye on that and see how that plays out. The rest of the spring looks to be overall mild because our air mass sources are primarily going to be from the Pacific and the Gulf Coast. And so game on, and hopefully more moisture because we clearly need it. In the meantime, right now, we have another cold front that is on the move. We have a few flurries up here over towards northeastern Pennsylvania, but that's starting to weaken and fall out. Winds are from the northwest, west-northwest, around 10 to 15 miles per hour. There's a couple of 20-mile-per-hour winds mixed in there as well. Some nice gusts as cold air transport comes on in. Temperatures ranging from the lower to mid 30s over the highest elevations, upper 30s to lower 40s over the rest of the interior. Along the coastal plain, we range from the mid to upper 40s for the most part. On the latest surface map and radar from WeatherTap, you can see just a few isolated showers here and there. Nothing really to as far as a threat this morning. And again, for the most part today, we're just going to have scattered cloud cover around the region. And you can see on the infrared satellite picture, it's a very progressive flow as we continue to have a series of cold fronts and whatnot move through. On the 250 millibar analysis here, these are our winds. This is our jet stream. There's our trough axis exiting. When you have the trough axis off the coast, that leads to subsidence. That's why we're not seeing a lot of moisture here. This ridge axis will continue to move through. Everything's progressive. There's nothing blocked up here. So this is a very transient, changeable weather pattern. So you're not going to get sustained warmth and you're not going to get sustained cold air. You're just going to get everything changing on you. Okay. And unfortunately, that can lead to some sickness here because, your body isn't prepared for going from 50s and 60s down to 20s and 30s, like what we're going to be doing this weekend. Saturday is going to be warm. A few showers here and there, but warm. We might actually break 60 in several locations. Sunday, not so much. Cold, very cold. Well, what does that look like in the mile guides? Well, in terms of lifting, the troughs are going to be moving through pretty quickly. Again, a lot of your strongest lifting is focused towards New England, so I can't rule out a few isolated showers, but this is not a strong cold front in respect of moisture transport in any way, shape, or form. By the time we get to Sunday and Monday, we have 500 millibar heights rising, a lot of convergence and confluence, and that leads to tranquil weather conditions, plenty of sunshine. Problem is cold air transport. See, let's go to 48 hours, actually. Let's go to 30 hours out. This is on Saturday night, and we have very warm air in place here. Everyone's above freezing. Then take a look at the cold air transport by the time we get to Saturday night into Sunday morning. Look at that. Look at that crash. You're going from 3 degrees Celsius on Saturday morning. By the time you get to the afternoon, you're around 0 degrees Celsius. And then, boom, the bottom drops out. You're talking about temperatures at 850 millibars around minus 15, minus 22. That's impressive. Now, in the winter, this would lead to single digits for lows, and it would lead to teens and 20s for highs. But by the time we get to Sunday afternoon, we have a higher sun angle. This is where it matters because we moderate much faster. We're still going to be cold, 20s and 30s. But then after that, the cold air rapidly gives way because it's moderating quickly under this influence of a higher sun angle and also a progressive weather pattern. So that by the time we get to Tuesday, it's long gone and we're back into 40s and 50s. So we got roughly about 2 days of very chilly air and a reminder that, hey, winter weather conditions can still pop up for a brief time. So unfortunately, if you have plans to go outdoors on Sunday, it's not going to feel very good. It's going to feel very, very chilly and very cold. So let's dive into this forecast. For today, scattered cloud coverage unexpected. Look for high temperatures in the upper 30s to lower 40s over the northern interior, mid to upper 40s everywhere else. For tomorrow, low pressure system passes to our north with a cold front. A few isolated showers are a threat, but for the most part, just a mix of sun and clouds. Look for low temperatures in the mid to upper 30s over the northern interior, upper 30s to lower 40s along the coast. High temperatures will range from the lower to mid 40s over the higher elevations, mid to upper 40s over the rest of the interior, and lower to mid 50s on the coast, mid 50s to a few lower 60s in the Delaware River Valley. So a real mismatch of temperatures. By the time we get to Sunday, that cold front has cleared the coast, scattered cloud cover, plenty of sunshine, but it is bone chilling cold with low temperatures ranging from the lower to mid teens over the northern interior, upper teens to lower 20s along the coast. High temperatures ranging from the mid to upper 20s over the northern interior, upper 20s to lower 30s in the New York City metropolitan area, and lower to mid 30s in the Philadelphia metropolitan area. So, again, not the best day to be outside. On Monday, we get a little bit warmer. Look for low temperatures ranging from the mid to upper teens over the northern interior, upper teens to lower 20s along the coast. High temperatures in the lower to mid 30s over the northern interior, mid to upper 30s along the coast. On Tuesday, look for increasing clouds with warmer conditions, low temperatures ranging from the upper 20s to lower 30s, high temperatures ranging from the lower to mid 40s over the northern interior, mid to upper 40s on the immediate coast, and upper 40s to lower 50s in the Delaware River Valley. On Wednesday, a warm front moves through with periods of showers in the morning, followed by additional showers in the afternoon as a cold front approaches. Look for low temperatures ranging from the upper 30s to lower 40s over the northern interior, lower to mid 40s in your suburbs, mid to upper 40s in your urban areas. High temperatures will range from the lower to mid 50s over the northern interior, mid to upper 50s along the coast, upper 50s to lower 60s in the Delaware River Valley. Now, on Wednesday night into Thursday morning, with the cold front moving through, there may be a few embedded thunderstorms. Nothing severe, but don't be surprised if you hear a rumble here and there. By the time we get to Thursday morning, the cold front's pushing off the coast with a few lingering scattered showers around the region. Look for low temperatures to range from the mid to upper 30s over the northern interior, upper 30s to lower 40s in your suburbs, lower to mid 40s in your urban areas, and along the immediate coast. High temperatures as skies start to clear. We still have a few lingering showers around the region. Will range from the mid to upper 30s over the higher elevations, upper 30s to mid 40s over the rest of the interior, lower to mid 40s in the Delaware River Valley, and upper 40s to lower 50s along the coast as that cold air slowly builds in. On Friday, high pressure will be in control. Another chilly day, but notice not as cold as the cold shot for this upcoming weekend, with low temperatures in the lower to mid 20s over the northern interior, mid to upper 20s along the coast, high temperatures in the upper 30s to lower 40s over the northern interior, lower to mid 40s along the coast. So that is your forecast discussion for today. Have a wonderful day. And as always, stay safe out there.